Well, ladies and gents, Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon is rotten. I don't know if it is. Haven't seen it, but it is Zack Snyder's worst reviewed movie so far. Not with like a huge number of reviews. There's 22. Sorry, there's 22, and it's 9%. So not a massive number of reviews. I do wonder if it's going to go up. I think it maybe will go up. Who knows at this point? I will say, I think Netflix were actually really confident about this. Which is, I mean, is that surprising? That they're so off the mark? That this is considered to be terrible? And FYI, we don't know if it is terrible. This is just critics. Maybe the audiences will love it. Maybe. We'll take a look at some of the reviews in a minute. Hit subscribe if you're new here, guys. And turn the bell notifications on. So in terms of Netflix believing that this was clearly good, they moved up the release. So they brought it forward. They actually had a really big premiere in London. Red carpet, that sort of deal. So I think they thought that they had a winner here. They've announced a game. There's a second one. I think they really did. You know, they were under the true belief they had a absolute winner. But the reviews are, oh, it's gone up a bit now, 28%. Okay. Well, there you go. That's actually gone up really quickly. So it was rotten. I mean, it's still rotten. So it is going up. Okay. So sorry, when I load these things in the background, sometimes they reload again. So that's gone up pretty quick. But let's take a look and see what the general census is. We'll look at the both good and bad, so we get a good spectrum here. Joe Blows, while undeniably derivative, more of the Magnificent Seven Samurai than Star Wars, Rebel Moon is nonetheless wildly entertaining and a very solid space opera. Cool. Snyder mistakes exposition for world building. And lugubriously delivered reams of backstory, removing the audience from the fantasy rather than immersing them in it. Not so good. But anyway, there's more. I'd rather have a 3-hour long complete movie than a 2-hour plus long half a movie. Very hard to judge without conclusion. He still gave it a positive. Interesting. But I'm a sucker for a slow motion action sequence, and there are a lot of them. Well, there's a Snyder movie, of course there's a lot of them. Plus, Ed Skrein and Sophie Boutella eat up their scenes. That's good. Fucking Grace Randolph. God, I hate this woman. More Zack Snyder's Dune than Star Wars. The filmmaker's opus isn't likely to win over new fans, but is a treat for those who appreciate his work. Boutella, Fisher and Bay are the real standouts. I do wish the 2-part movie craze would end. I agree with that. Anyway, here's a negative. A pale imitator that fails to forge its own space in the legacy of big screen sci-fi. Independent said it's a film populated by some of the Justice League Snyder Cut filmmaker's worst impulses. A mess of imagery, some of it attempting to shock, congregated largely around the idea of what might look good in a trailer. Yeah, I mean, you know, Snyder does have a tendency to make things which look like an extended music video, which is basically like, you know, a trailer. A movie that feels like a million isolated storyboards without a single thing welding them together. Not good. And then there's a lot of negatives, so we'll get through some of them anyway. Hollywood Reporter, just seconds into the leaden sci-fi saga Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, it's clear the director is back to indulging his worst tendency for self-serious bombast. Rebel Moon, this is Variety, while eminently watchable, is a movie built so entirely out of spare parts that it may, in the end, be for Snyder cultists only. And this is the problem, like when you kind of drink your own Kool-Aid, like Taika Waititi did this, you go way too down the path of what I believe is the shit, that's it. There's no objectivity, you know? Which is potentially a shame. And then you narrow your market. Hannah Flint, do like a blonde. Zack Snyder's space opera is let down by a derivative patchwork script, mediocre action sequences, and a superficial story. I mean, not a lot of people like it, I'm not going to lie. Oh, it's a positive, sorry. Snyder's passion project risks becoming subsumed by its own self-importance, but delivers bombastic mayhem Second time someone's used that word. And grandiose visuals by the bucket load. I have to watch this. I mean, this is out in a few days, isn't it? Everyone but the release the Snyder Cut fanboys will be better off immediately ejecting this turgid whimper of a movie into the farthest reaches of the galaxy. That is fucking brutal. Wow. That is brutal. Here's a positive. Snyder's passion project. Oh, I read that one. Sorry. That is so bad. And then it's a lot of negatives. Here's a positive. Red Moon Part 1 is a bit wobbly on its own 2 feet, but it promises great things for the Scargiver next year. I mean, this is... There's not much positive, not going to lie. Not a lot of people like it. Daily Beast, this misbegotten attempt at creating a new out-of-this-world Snyderverse is merely a knockoff dressed up in its director's stylistic signatures. Again, familiar traits of a Zack Snyder movie. If you're not a convert, you'll be wondering what all the fuss is about. Rebel Moon resembles a little more than a grab bag collection of world-building influences, mythology, epic storytelling that we've seen done better many times before. One of Snyder's worst efforts to date. Dull and derivative, with very little to warrant there even being a part 2, and therefore just an atrocious waste of time and money. That's interesting, because isn't this like the film that he's like, this is my best film ever, I love this. This is the creme de la creme. It's my magnum opus. It's my cherry on top. Pretty certain that's what he said about this movie. Not, you know, verbatim, obviously. Pretty certain he really... It's a passion project. But it's his worst? Holy shit. With Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder is positively bursting with exciting ideas, but they lack compelling characters and a solid plot to hold them up. I thought the plot sounded really basic, but... could be wrong. Cool capes, shirtless hunks, and a squid alien, sorry, can only get you so far. I mean, I didn't give a shit about shirtless men, obviously. Shirtless women? Yeah, that'd be a different story. Maybe Hannah Flint there. Anyway. Yeah, this sounds garbage. Doesn't sound good. It'll be interesting to see when the audience reviews come in. But terrible reviews. Not good. But we'll see, because this could be one which just divides everyone. You could have people loving it in the audience, and then the critics hate it. So let me know what you think down below. Just thought this was funny, updating you on this stuff. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.